Hello friends, welcome to Intronaut channel, the place here on YouTube where we do weekly tarot reading. And today you are all welcome to join me. But today I decided not to do weekly tarot reading, but to express some opinions about the support for the month and the weeks that are ahead of us. So there is a tradition in the beginning of the year when you can, pick a card from a deck, 12 cards, and each card presents 1 month in the coming year. So the card that is presenting this month is the card Three of Swords. And this is the card that is, you know, um, that is kind of pointing to what is happening in this month and what is the major effect on us. And as well, you know, there were some things happening that reminded me of this card, so that's why I wanted to talk to you about this card and this support and what I discovered. So, well, in the background we can see, the clouds and the rain, so definitely that points, to April weather. Well, April is here known as a month colder, wet, wind. So at the same time, this kind of reminded me of a perfect condition for for this radiation to continue. And exactly what I discovered is that this what is going on is a radiation, actually. If you have a common sense and you can see and feel and make a difference, uh, you can feel the earth is warm. The earth is warm, it is radiating warm. And if you cannot feel that, you can logically think about it. There was not even one single snowflake, natural snowflake this winter, and there was not even once naturally temperature drop below zero this winter. So the earth itself is warm, and it's, radiating warmth. Just, go out. If you go out, just feel it, like the half of the the lowest part of your body, you can feel it. And also there is the sun. You can see the sun is getting stronger and stronger every day, warmer and warmer. But you know um, um, there is something in between the earth and the sun, and it's, here when we are people, and it is this kind of coldness, it is this kind of iciness, that is here all the time in creating this dangerous atmosphere, that is attacking, the body and the cells, and, hurting and draining and mainly making us cold. So, this is what I wonder, because how is that possible? If I had a lucky day and caught the sun, the real warmth and the real light of the sun through the hole that, sometimes is created in this gray layer that is above us, then you can immediately sense how the sun warms the energy field around you, how suddenly all this coldness and all this, electric iciness is kind of gone, gone, definitely gone. And but you have to be lucky, to catch that hole in the green layer, that is pretending to be a sky. So the next thing what you definitely can do, you can go to the forest, and even just, for 10 meters away from open space, you can stay there and you will see in 2-3 minutes, you will feel differently. You will feel, like some heavy weight has, come off you. That makes me, I feel that. I felt the sun, I go to the forest, I feel the difference. And it makes me wonder, what is that? Is that the virus? Is that iciness in the air? Is that the virus? Or is that the uh, radiation that is happening? Or what is that, What is that? Is this dangerous atmosphere created for the virus to continue to exist? It really makes me wonder, because what happened in the last 3 days, heavy, severely radiation was going on here. And on Monday we went out and it just, killed us. It just, we couldn't stand, and this, something happened. An old wound opened, and that is the strange coincidence, because that old wound was caused by radiation. So this is the story that I want to share with you, because it is a very strange how this suddenly came up. So mm, maybe in let's say 2 or 3, 2.5 years ago, I was talking to a friend on the phone for, let's say, 1.5 hours to 2 hours. And I experienced what happens when the phone starts to, radiate that heat, and how your hands start to burn, and how my head started to burn, and my ear and everything started to burn, and how it was exhausting me, and how I felt really sick, And I still remember how I could not get off the phone, but I was still, continuing this conversation, which got more and more negative and more on the edge of stuff. And I can still remember that I couldn't end the conversation, being sick, but still hanging there and putting the phone, and lying next to the phone and on the speakerphone, still talking, and it was sick, the whole thing, and I was sick because of the phone. Phone was doing something that made me really tired. And luckily the battery went off. So then I realized that everything was happening. It was the phone, the phone was causing this. And I needed to go out of this room, out of this apartment, because I thought it was all filled with this junk energy inside. So I opened the windows and everything, And I went for a walk, and I lived next to the forest, and I went to walk in the forest. And after 3 hours, I felt better, not sick anymore. And I came home, and immediately I wanted to check the phone. And while the phone was, getting on, I started to feel sick again. I started to feel the same as I did before, 3 hours before, before the walk. And I was, wow, what was going on? And I turned off the phone, I went to sleep, and the next morning I woke up and the situation was even worse, It was like half of my head was totally in pain, but the pain I never experienced before. And there was this doing in my ears, in this ear, and I immediately knew it was because of the phone, that this was the phone damage. And then I went to look myself in the mirror, and I saw like this eye, swallowed eye, very swollen, and it was like terrible thing. So I didn't have the watch, and I had to check the phone. Again, the phone was getting on, and then again, this pain in my head started to grow and become stronger and stronger. And I just left everything and went um, into some other forest that is more wild, let's say it like this. And I had to take the bus. While I was going away from these things, you know, I was getting less and less pain in and in the ear. And then when the bus started driving, suddenly this, huge pain again, growing inside of my head, you know. And what happened was that I realized that when the bus starts to go, free Wi-Fi comes on, so everybody goes to their phone. And I was looking, everybody was engaged in their black screens, but my pain was growing, and I thought that my head is just gonna, what. But I survived. I came to the forest and I spent the whole day there. I immediately the healing started, and I felt really better, and I was there like more than 7 hours. And I was going back home, when I had to use the bus again. And then the bus again, when it started to go, the free Wi-Fi come on, and the radiation is again there. But this time I didn't get like heavy pain or strong pain. I just get some in my ear, and then I get like just a reminder, radiation is a reminder, something like that. So, okay, I started being very careful with the phone. I went off normal to normal after a couple of days, and I'm struggling with this new technology to buy, and everything is old I have, so I really struggled to get some new stuff, and especially the phone. And so what is happening here is that on Monday, when we were rushing home into our, sanctuary, when we were rushing home, then suddenly this in my ears started, and this pain started at the same place, and the same kind of feeling, kind of strange pain. And I was just saying to myself, oh my God, oh my God. And this is like a walk on the open. There is a huge field and everything, and it's like 15 minutes away from park. So it was that dangerous to be outside at that moment, on Monday. So what makes me think of this card, is to tell you that this kind of what's going on has to do something with this arranged weather. This is the weather that is arranged. So if this virus really exists, it is radiation is causing the damage on our energy field, so the virus can come through us and hurt us. And what I think at this point is that I question if this virus is really, natural, because it doesn't have natural enemies. It cannot be cured. It doesn't have cure. And certainly, circumstances, environment has to be created for it to survive. And the last thing, which in my opinion is not a really natural thing, these measures that we took to protect ourselves from this virus, like staying home and washing our hands, sounds kind of ridiculous, to fight something natural. What seems natural to me, it would be to allow the sun to shine and to warm and warm us and to warm the atmosphere, and all this virus will be history, and all these things will be history. So yes, I wanted to share this story about you with you because I now am certain about the radiation, but still, don't really know how this is connected with this virus, because I still think that there is something that we catch, you know, that we catch, and in my opinion, it's not natural, and it when it gets to the body, of course, because body will not arrange natural environment for it, but it will, isolate it, destroy it, so he is not active, as I would say now at this point, because um, he needs created environment and stuff that will create this environment for this virus to 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 become active, needs to be, it uh, needs to be injected into our bloodstream. So, so the baseline for this virus to activate is coming through vaccine. So, um, this is how I think, which is the direction that the darkness is, taking. But okay, there is another thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and especially for people that are living here in my area, because I have two children and they're in primary school and they get, information about the school work through my mail, so I read these messages. And at this point, I will not comment on it, but I will just describe that these messages are full of motivational quotes and full of spiritual quotes and full of, inspiring quotes and inspiring slogans, which at some point can get, not appropriate, maybe. So on Monday, the teacher wrote a message as usual, and it was a slogan from, I think it was Theodore Roosevelt. I don't know exact words, but it was something like, keep on fighting, you are doing a great job and you are like halfway through. It was just something like that. Halfway through was something that caught my attention and reminded me again of this card, because it is the 3 weeks that passed, 3 weeks of isolation, 3 weeks of division, 3 weeks of ends, 3 weeks of delay. All this is this card, this is what these 3 weeks passed. And if we are on the halfway, this is 3 weeks more to go. And then I immediately checked the news headlines to see, and yes, I caught that the government is deciding that the end of the April is the next point from we decide where we will go. And also there is something that caught my attention in the media, is the Prime Minister saying that it's going to be the hardest 2 weeks that are coming. So I would be, interesting to me too, because, sometimes, they know what they're talking about, because there is this feeling that they are always one step in front of us, so yes, and this is the card that points to that, it points to that things will get kind of heavier. So let's maybe see why, why, what will happen, um, um, some emotions can rise, you know, because now with this message, you know, 3 weeks to go and stuff like this, there is hope, you know. So people may say to themselves, okay, you know, I survived 3 weeks, I can do it, you know, as the best that I can. I can survive the 3 more, you know. Not that kind of a problem now that I know that this is going to end, you know. And by putting all this attention towards the end, and you know, start thinking about what will happen after and how your life will be continuing or changing or whatever, you know, have too much focus about that. But you know, this arranged weather that is coming is you know, going to influence us in a big way, and it's going to, you know, bring out some stuff that we need to take care of, you know. So well, what I would say that this card at this point, you know, is suggesting that this hope is kind of putting us in the position that we are getting kind of a comfortable, if I can use that word, in being in a limited space, being in a limited position to move, or being limited to, you know, exercise your rights as a human or whatever, you know. There is this limited space and limited movement, and you are getting kind of used to it, and you can, you know, hang in there for 3 more weeks. But something else, you know, can happen, and these emotions um, can interrupt us in our, let's say, you know, wishful thinking about what will happen after these 3 weeks. So for maybe it will be important for us to let go of that thinking about the future, and to consciously try to create the space for these emotions that will come. uh, you know, so these emotions, they also need space, you know. So if we are not creating enough space for them, they will kind of, you know, bubble up inside us, you know. And of course this is leading to very much tension, because 3 weeks is still a long way to go, you know. So, well, I will not especially comment on you know, on decisions that politicians make, but you know, I must, you know, give you this message that while if we don't create this space for these emotions to come out, to present themselves to us, you know. I'm not saying we should react unconsciously to this energy, but we should, you know, create the space for these emotions, for this energy to come out and to express itself fully. And we just observe what is going on. So by observing, we create this space. And that's how, you know, we are clearing the tension from the body. If we are not doing that, the tension will grow and grow and grow. And that in itself becomes a great opportunity for manipulation. So in order, you know, some door will kind of open, an exit from this suffering will kind of show itself to you. And if we will be rushed out of this situation by wishful thinking, you know, it will be only temporary satisfaction or relief, and it will even deepen the problems, you know. And the second thing is that instead of choosing the quick way out, instead of following our wishful thinking, our desires, and especially our addictions. You know, we should uh, choose to stay inside and penetrate this problem deeper and deeper, you know, until we get to the wisdom that we need to gain for solutions, you know, to appear and, you know, to become conscious of the solution that are benefit for humanity, not just for your personal benefit. So I think this is important. This is important, you know, not to go for that wishful thinking, you know. So the second thing that I can point is that you see there are three swords and one heart, you know. So three is the basic number, is the number that, you know, points to order, though rational or mind order or spiritual order, and it points to, you know, uniting everything into oneness, and that oneness is like, you know, something that everything is born out, you know. So in this case, oneness is the heart, or if we better look at it, is that oneness is inside the heart, you know. So what this card at this point points to me is, you know, the general willingness that exists in us, you know, to really go to the bottom of these things, you know, to really go through this suffering, and not just go through it, but also come out of it prepare to take the next step toward, you know, where uh, where where we think we should go, you know. So I think, well, you know, it is you know, very important to go through this and uh, to hang in there, and, you know, to gain, you know, ability and power to take the next level, if I can express it like this, you know. So I think this is quite a long reading, and, you know, I will suggest one thing besides, you know, stay away from rushing out of things. You know, is um, this is not gonna be a good for anybody. So wisdom should prevail. We should be considering taking the steps towards wisdom, you know, and I think it's important to know that. And at the same time, it's important to know what's going on outside. And by recognizing it, you know, the wisdom will bring the solutions to us, you know. So we have to recognize, you know, this arranged weather, this damaging, I would say, atmosphere, you know, that is like a air condition, you know. You know, the air condition that, you know, doesn't allow your body or your energy to prepare for this sudden temperature change. You know, it's like this: when I step out of the building, there is like a huge air conditioner blowing more than half degrees less than the atmosphere is directly into my face, like you know. So, you know, this is not good, it's damaging our magnetic field, electromagnetic field, and it's, you know, so, you know, staying true to yourself and seeing the damage that is causing, and recognizing and being fair and being truthful to yourself, that will bring the right things to you. Okay, I think this is it. Mm. I think this is it. Take care, stay well. I hope you gain some informations, and being prepared for what's coming is a wise thing. So this is why I'm sharing it. And of course, I'm still available, but to contact me on my email. So next week we'll continue with weekly reading. So we'll check what's happening. Okay. Take care.